and that's good. Welcome to my first ever Homebrew Wednesday, and happy Homebrew Wednesday to everyone. I'm working on a very young Hefeweizen. Um, I don't have my notes in front of me. I don't remember when I brewed it, but bottled it 9 days ago on the 11th. Bottled it on the 11th. It's still very young, very cloudy. It's a Hef. It's going to stay cloudy, but it's ready. It's good. I've never seen a beer carved that fast. This is my first Hefe. It's actually a really simple one. It's Midwest Supplies Honey Weizen extract with steeping grains kit, and pretty much brewed it the way the instructions said, except it was all LME, about 6 pounds and 2 pounds of honey. That all went in at knockout. The boil was just the steeping grain tea, partial boil. Everything else went in at knockout after the hopping and everything like that. Um, Turned out really, really well. I have a lot of it, so hoping it just gets a little bit better in the couple weeks it takes me to drink it. So, anyway, it's Homebrew Wednesday, and I want to share with everyone what I've been doing with my brewing since it's my first one recently. Usually it'll be last week if I choose to share what I'm doing. First off, came home today, got this in the mail. New issue of Zymergy. Great magazine. This one's all about IPA, which is one of my favorite styles to brew. I almost always have one fermenting, brewed one Sunday, sitting right over here next to me, bubbling away, starting to slow down now. I've only thumbed through this. I just wanted to share how excited I am. I love this magazine. Um, Other than that, last couple days, I bottled, story about the Hefeweizen. I bottled a gallon about, just about a week and a half ago to, for a trade, and I left the other 4 gallons in primary, let it condition a little longer. Not that it needed it, I was just lazy. Um, got a little more clear than I would have wanted it to in primary, but I bottled that 4 gallons up a couple days ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and kegged um, an ongoing recipe of mine, what I call Bank's Best Bitter. It's my house ESB, and at kegging, that one tasted like pretty much what I wanted. I would have liked to see it ferment a little farther down. It ended at 1.014. I was hoping for a 0.012. No biggie. Tasted great. Exactly what I was going for. Um, Today, I kegged most of my batch of my house pale ale, which is basically Mirror Pond with a little more late hopping and a much bigger dry hop and longer dry hop than the homebrew recipes I've seen. I did end up with this half-gallon growler left over. It wouldn't fit in the keg, and so I just put it in there, and I'll let that sit for a week or so until I have room for it in the keg, and then I'll just open up the keg and put it in there, carbonate it up again. Other than that, I have a couple things I want to show you guys. These are both babies of mine sitting next to me. Let me see if I can do this without blinding you with the window. Yeah, there. The 3 gallon carboy is my number 3. I shouldn't call it my number 3 Burton. It is a number 3 Burton that I brewed. It's in secondary now, bulk aging. It's been here since the 6th of April, and I think I had it in primary for 4 or 5 weeks before that. Really cool beer. I researched the style. I ended up going with Martin Cornell's recipe from an issue of Zymergy a couple years ago, maybe early last year. January, February of 2011. That's the issue it was from. I believe it was an extract recipe. I did this as all grain. And the cool thing about this beer is the recipe, the grain bill was about 97.5% Fawcett and Sons optic malt, pale ale malt. And the rest was pale British chocolate, like the 200 Lovibond, 300 Lovibond chocolate malt. So pre-boil, this was a very light beer, but I boiled it for 90 minutes on purpose to caramelize it. And if you can see my flashlight kind of moving behind it, it is a deep, deep red color. And that's exactly what I'm going for. It finished up at a, like 1.023, nice and thick, real bitter beer. I'll talk more about this particular beer because this is a style I'm really into in another video. But I want to go on to this 1 gallon fermenter, which is part of my Russian Imperial Stout that I brewed last December. Been aging that in secondary in a couple of these gallon growler jugs since January, and it's coming along really, really nice. I basically brewed Tom Mick's Russian Imperial Stout. It's a recipe from Beer Captured. It's actually the only homebrew recipe in Beer Captured. Scaled it down, made a few minor tweaks, changed the yeast. And going into secondary, that thing tasted amazing. It needed some time to mellow for sure, but I'm not going to be bottling that till August. Those are my 2 babies. Those I've been paying more attention to than the batches I'm fermenting sometimes, depending on the beer. That right there is the IPA that I brewed on Sunday. That's the one in the video for the all grain brew in a bag stovetop brew day. Fermenting a little warmer than I wanted to. It's going at about 68. I was hoping for about 66. No biggie. Everything went off fine. I put an airlock on it today. As you can see, maybe the Krausen got pretty high. But it's cooking away. I'm excited for it. Waiting for that foam to drop so I can dry hop it. Other than that, after kegging up and bottling up all these home brews, I have 2 open swamp coolers. Other than the swamp cooler bucket that my IPA's in, I have two swamp coolers that can hold full size batches, full 5 gallon batches. So probably Friday or Saturday evening, I'm planning on whipping up an extract kit, another Midwest kit. I get 1 a month through the Ale of the Month Club. Now, the next one I'm doing is the Liberty Cream Ale, which it's what I've read about. It's supposed to be a great beer. The guys that I've talked to that have brewed it said it's a really good beer. It's all LME, 6 pounds of, I believe, Brice Gold malt extract, and all Cascade hops. I think I'm probably going to up the late hops a teeny tiny bit and may dry hop it with 1/4 to a 1/2 ounce of Cascades. I have a bunch of whole Cascades that I need to use up in the next couple months, so I'll probably use some in there. I'm going to whip that up, and I've been working on a Saison recipe. It'll be my first Saison. Pretty straightforward Saison recipe. And that's my brew plans for the next week. Hopefully next Wednesday I will have both of those brewed, and I can show you guys how they're coming along. And maybe by next Wednesday I will be able to sample my last batch of IPA, my Columbus and Centennial IPA, which I'm really looking forward to. That one going into bottles tasted very, very nice. And this guy right here, this is my brewery guard. This is Garcia the cat. He likes to guard my fermenters and love them. And I think this is my IPA that I'm waiting for. Should be going by the date. It should be ready in another week or so. But who knows? You never know with those things. I think he's waiting for these because since I put these here, because it was a small batch, he's been guarding. He's been guarding these. So I think that's what he's waiting for. Garcia's an old dude. I've had him. When did I get you, buddy? I think I got him in 2000, 2001 maybe. I think spring of 2000. Got him from an aquarium store. He showed up on their doorstep when he was a kitten, and I took him in. I couldn't say no. Went home with some fish and a cat. So that has me thinking about an amazing catfish recipe I have for another video involving barbecues, catfish. But back to this Heffa. sipping on it, let it warm up a little bit. That's where I really notice the honey in the recipe. Is once it gets probably above 45 to 50, the honey starts to come out, and then as it gets nice and warm, it's you can taste the honey. It went in at knockout. It's really pleasant in a wheat beer. It leaves a little perception of sweetness that balances out the tartness from the wheat and the yeast. I use the 3056 strain, the Bavarian wheat blend, which, from what I understand, is the Weihenstephan strain with training wheels. It's blended with a clean ale yeast to help first time and beginner Heffa brewers not screw up their Heffas. And well, not that it's all the yeast, but let's be real, yeast has a lot to do with the beer. And this one turned out really well. First time using the strain, first time brewing a Heffa. I've brewed with wheat. I've brewed pale ales with a good amount of wheat in the grain bill. But this is the first time brewing a more than 50% wheat beer. I think the LME was 55 or 65% wheat, which is pretty cool. And maybe I have that backwards. Maybe it was 55 or 65% barley. But I think it was wheat. I'll have to double check on that. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. Cheers. Happy Homebrew Wednesday.